Who am I for? There are two basic attitudes that we can have. I can either see myself as for me, or I can see myself as for others. For me or for others. This was illustrated in a great way, I think, by a journalist named David Brooks, who remembered at one point he turned on the TV and he saw an NFL running back score a touchdown and do all sorts of dancing and chest thumping and kind of pointing to himself and pointing to the crowd. And then shortly thereafter, he turned on the radio and he listened to a rerun of a program that was aired shortly after World War II. That was, I guess, the person on the program was Bing Crosby, and he was sharing some different news. And he shared the comments of a war correspondent named Ernie Pyle. And so what did Ernie Pyle said? He said, "You know, we didn't win this war because we're better than anybody else. We just happened to be blessed with a lot of material abundance. We had some good allies. We should just try to stay modest and be worthy of the peace." And so for David Brooks, he was very struck by this contrast that you have, on the one hand, somebody who had just coming out of a war and had just out of a victory of war, and then you have somebody else who basically just scored a touchdown. And the person who scored the touchdown is thumping his chest as if it was something much greater than what the actions of the person who won the war signified. So what this led David Brooks to consider is that we've kind of fallen into a big me culture, a culture that really emphasizes the me. And so in a certain sense, it kind of proposes that the answer to that question, who am I for? A lot of people today will say, well, I am for me. But I think that this is not going to help us to become true men.